Hey, hello there. Welcome everyone to our monthly product webinar. Thank you so much for coming, for joining. This month we didn't deliver that much features, but still quite a lot. So I sincerely hope that the webinar part will take roughly like 20-30 minutes. And then you will have a chance, we'll just have a Q&A part as always. You're very welcome to drop your questions here in the comments panel or with a question button. And also, as you probably see, there is a pop-up, our CEO's new blog. Check it out, and there is a link. It's not a spam. Our CEO Michael restarted his writing, his blogging, and he's planning to write articles about reflection of being a CEO, maybe a little bit of immigration, of course, about Fibery as a business, about visionary stuff. So he deliberately decided to have his own blog and not just extend the Fibery blog, just to make it a bit more human, a bit more personal, because he is a person and he is a human. So you're very welcome to subscribe. I sincerely hope there will be very nice writing. Before he had it on Medium, but this platform is not that good anymore. So Substack, nah, as well, so. So I really believe that there will be good stuff. So thank you so much for this few seconds advertising. Let me probably already share my screen. Dun, dun, dun. Just let me, yep. Okay, I was just checking that Figma is working. And yep. So there is a share button, share screen. Okay, I hope you can see my wonderful Figma presentation, which I do with a lot of love and a lot of memes that I load from our Slack channel. So this is what we're going to talk through today. First of all, we're going to check out which AI improvements were delivered. What do we have in terms of permissions? What has been done for integrations and in other areas. And of course, in every area, I will also share with you what are the next features we are planning to deliver. So some stats as usual. In July, we only had 4 Thursdays and 4 releases. We released 32 features, including technical, but many of them were more about design and UI improvements. So the number is quite big, but there is probably, I would say, about 10-15 features which really bring a lot of value. We also fixed a lot of bugs. It could be more, the number could be more, but 2 of our QAs went on vacation. So the testing part was on product folks and on developers themselves. This is why we had a little bit more bugs as usual, and many of them were reported by you. So thank you. I mean, how wonderful is this customers? So thank you so much for that. They're already back. They already have a huge backlog to go through, and this is why we're also very a bit cautious of releasing big and important features, because they better be probably tested a bit more. And our team of 30 spent 140 days on vacations, days off in total. I mean, some people went to the proper vacation for a few weeks, some just took a few days off, but August was definitely a relaxing day. But still, what have we done? We delivered Fibery Remote MCP Server. Plus, it's also available now in GitHub Copilot and VS Code. I think that you can find a few use cases for that, and just connection became a bit more friendly than it was before. We also switched default models to GPT-5. So I will share with you a bit more details here. So we have AI assistant in many areas. So in rich text and in AI in automations, those that we use to generate formulas, markdown, these kind of things, we switched them to models GPT-5 latest and GPT-5 mini respectively. And you can also, when you create your own custom prompt with AI, maybe in Markdown with a smart agent or something, you can, or maybe I know summarize or any of the custom prompts that can be run with rules or buttons. There you can specify the model that you want to use. And you can use GPT-4o mini, GPT-4o, GPT-4o latest, GPT-5, 5 latest, and 5 mini. So based on the use case that you have, you may decide which one you want to use for your particular use case, because there is a big difference about how versions 4 and 5 behave. So this is it. Then we also now show nice links to Fibery objects in AI agent replies. Here, I would rather share like this kind of screenshot. So just because, you know, AI still takes some time to answer and I don't want to waste your time, so I prepared a few screenshots. So as you see here, now it can give you links to the rules it generated, to the views it created, to the database that were added. So if you are using Builder for any kind of a use case, now it will become just a bit more simple to navigate. And also now it's possible to create automation rules or buttons with Fibery AI. So just before the webinar started, I went to our like a very simple and simple space, which is called project management. We have project and task, and I asked it this kind of thing. So please go to the project database, there create a rule that will create new project automatically every month. No details here. And project's name will be project plus month it was created. As you see, it took 59 seconds, and like it also explained the way it thought. So you can, if you're curious, you can also check this out. And here is the rule it generated. So it also generated the name of the rule, the description, and on Shadow every month on the first day of the month, because I didn't specify more precisely what do I want, create new project with a name. And here we even have a formula. Okay, so as you see, it even like indeed made what I asked it for, project plus month name plus to text year. And I think that this rule looks very nice. And in fact, this is better. I generated my rule in the build mode because, sorry, it just I made it in the build mode, and but it switches to the ask if I closed it and then reopened the pop-up, the window. I mean, of course, I used the build mode because it's building. So what do we have to keep in mind? That at the moment, this AI really loves using scripts. It is writing a script for you and says, I did it. I did what you asked for me. But no, we don't have to trust it. If it generated a script, you can like say, okay, thank you so much, but let's try maybe avoid scripting, even though it works. Scripts are only available on the Pro plan. And this guy seems to be a very nice salesperson. So like, you know, it's time to start paying if you don't want to create everything from scratch and want to use me. It's not our choice. It's just the way it behaves right now. We also want to fix it because we like scripts less than our normal rules, because you know they're a bit normal rules are a bit more predictable and easier to debug. And also sometimes if we have some limitations in Fibery from our rules, in this case, it can generate a script. And if you ask it, please, could you make normal rules without scripting? It can explain to you what is missing in Fibery from feature perspective and why has it decided to come with scripts. So sometimes it depends on position because there is something behind that. So I definitely recommend to pay attention to that. And if you see that your rule failed and has to be a script because we are missing some functionality, please let us know. We will add your vote to that because of course, like potentially we probably can check out your communication details with AI, but we don't do this, to be honest. I mean, at least manually. So, yep, if you with the AI, you discovered some limitations, ping us that you need them, and it's more likely that it will come. So right now it's in beta. You can already test it out. In the next few releases, there will be some improvements, polishing to this particular part with rules and buttons. But you can already experiment and enjoy. Okay, And boom, boom, boom. Share this tab instead. Cool. What is coming in terms of AI for the future? We are still working on agent quality and speed improvements. As always, we test with every model. We see whether we can make it faster, cheaper, these kind of boring things. Also, uh, what is in progress now and maybe will be delivered in 1-2 weeks, create and update whiteboard with AI. We experimented a little bit already. So I will share with you how the results look like. So we asked it at some point, please create a mind map of relations between Game of the Thrones characters and listed them. So I think it was like, it looks pretty fancy. So very nice ones, I think, with explanations, etc. Of course, it was not built based on Fibery data. It just knows what the characters are, because when you reference AI in Fibery, it has the context of your data plus of the overall AI context plus of our documentation, user guides, etc. So this is like 3 in 1. This is why it was possible to build it. And just recently, me and my roommate, we finished watching everything, all 8 seasons of Desperate Housewives. So we were curious, will it be able to, create an overview, map all deaths across all 8 seasons? I still think that this is a good idea to map it with databases, relations, to to give maybe some properties to deaths, accidents, etc. I hope we will not be banned on the YouTube for mentioning death, but okay. But it also, as you see, made it quite nicely what happened on season 2, what exactly, how it happened, all the details. So it could still look a bit better, but I'm still very impressed. And of course, it gave us only primary characters overview, because overall these 8 seasons have about 80 deaths from what I remember, but it prioritized it. We respect it a lot. So yep, this is what you'll be able to do in 1 or 2 weeks. And it will be also possible to update existing rules with AI, because at the moment you can only create them. So you will be able to say, okay, go to this rule and make these adjustments. And better visualization of thinking mode. So right now it has a lot of details, probably too much, too technical ones. If you're curious how the AI came up with such an answer, and it can be helpful if you want to adjust the prompt to something, you will be able to do this. So this is what we are planning about AI in the nearest future. Second part, permission updates. What have we done? Track space access, changes in history, space database access audit for users and group, revoke automatic access via created bind automations. A lot of words. Let's check this one out in reality. So right now I'm loading the activity log, and what has changed, you have the filter tab in the upper right menu of your activity log, and there you can apply different kind of filters, because there can be too many actions in the activity log, etc. And now there is one more event that you can add, access changed. So once you apply this filter, you can see who changed the access in a recent time frame. So like the space app tracker, access changed 5 days ago. Anton changed and made Alexei a creator. Alex made Alexei creator. We have a lot of Alexeis, but with different writing. To the customer success, Michael gave creator access to Alex, so Alex could give access to Alexei. Oh my God, there was something hidden here, probably, because otherwise, why didn't Michael give directly access to Alexei? That's a topic to discuss, but of course, maybe in couloirs or something. So, yep, right now you can check the history of changes with the activity log. Who did that? Finally have an answer, even without our help. Then there is also space access audit for users and groups. So for example, like this is my user card. This is you. Thank you so much. And I can click here and go to the Manage Access button, and I will see my access overview for my user. So here I see all types of my access for spaces and my roles. As you see, I cannot change them from here. So for me, it's just read only. And I have a list of all the spaces. And if I click, yep, 34 shared spaces, I will be even have the details about the capabilities that I have to every of those spaces, like docs and whiteboards. Can I create them? Can I command them? Can I delete them? Databases, the space itself. So like charge B, I can only view and command, but I cannot apply active actions here. So if you want to know the capabilities of a specific person, you are very welcome to check this out, and you can check out how do they get the this kind of access. The same goes for the databases. So you can check all the databases from all the spaces. So, and you will see that if it is from CRM, and there we have editor is everyone. I'm in the everyone group, user group, and I'm personally am a creator. So I have editor access with a user group and creator as a person. And viewer I am because I am in the everyone group. So here you have also like a link to the source. How does this person get the access with the user group? And this will be the name of this user group, or because it's a space access, or because of something else. Not sure if there is something else, but if there is, you'll see it. And I also have access to 3 cards, which are shared with me. So I have access to my employee card and all the details related to it, like salary, transactions, these kind of things, but only to mine. Positions, we're still hiring, looking for custom education manager, and I have access to this position, and I can check it out and change it. And I also have access to our document that has to be updated. So this is available for every person. All the sources are here: user groups, direct accesses, and here you will see all the spaces. You have at least some access more than viewer, and everything that was not deleted. So once it's deleted, it disappears from the list as well. And the last improvement we have is called Revoke Automatic Access with the created by in automations. I think it was very popular question. Why would we need that? I mean, in automations, it's such a weird case. But in fact, it was based on the real use case we have with our big, important, nice customer. And their request was very valid, and it was a very big pain point. And I will give you a high-level overview of when it can be helpful. So imagine you have a space where you have where default access to many people is viewer or even no access. Like for example, we have performance review, and we want some teammates, or maybe we have a sales. Let's use sales as an example. So we want salespersons only have access to the cards they are assigned to and those that they created. So we give them great capabilities. They can create new company, and with the created by field, they gain in the access. But life can change, and at some point we think that now another person is now responsible for this customer, and they don't want the person who added them have access anymore. And we can revoke this access automatically. So we can say, okay, if the assignee and created by are not equal, then revoke created by access. Maybe it is time sensitive case. So something like, okay, it's an old thing, you created it a long time ago, you don't have to have access anymore, I don't know, in 2 months, in 3 months, in a year, or something. So when creation date is 7 days ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, then revoke access via created by. Sorry, but you need another reason to have the access, not only the fact that you created it. So you can think of potentially more use cases, but we just wanted this created by access not be permanent, and so you could manage it easier than by having notification and revoking the access somehow manually. So that was the reasoning behind this feature. Hopes it makes a little bit more sense now. What is coming? Entity access audit for users and groups. So we had the space access changes. Now we'll have entity access audit. We will start also tracking proper access changes in history, like databases, fields, entities, access templates, absolutely everything. It will be also more simple to switch between user roles, like from member to guest, from guest to observer, and allow hiding space data from admins. It's not something I promise will become in September or very early October, but this is a big task on the background we're working on at the moment. So here, unfortunately, the scope and steps is not very clear. It also involves the core. It means that nothing can be forecasted and promised, but while working on permissions, it seems that we found the way to solve this problem, that nothing can be hidden from admins. Thus, we're going to try our best and implement something helpful here. Now, let's talk about integration updates. What have we delivered here? I mean, here will be a mix. CSV is not an integration, but it's a way to upload new data. Yep. So ability to update existing entities with a CSV, webhook retry improvements, track a date of account creation, and Jira new filters. Let's go one by one and check them out. So okay, so webhook retry improvements. We just increased the frequency from several minutes to 3 hours, and in case of failure after 3 hours, we will send notifications to all admins. So it just have to become less frequent compared to what it was before. Good news for you if you rely on scripts a lot. Now, update existing entities with a CSV. Right now, I just have a random table with some random projects I generated. And here I can import from CSV. Okay, now I'm going to upload the CSV. It's a very small one. Next. And now what is the option? There is like an option to manage duplicates. You can either create new project. So in case if we find the duplicate, then what? You say, okay, ignore this fact. There can be no duplicates at all. Just create a new entity in case you found it. Or then if you found the duplicate, grab the project that was here before and update it with the information that I'm populating. So if before the project had dates empty and in the CSV file dates are not empty anymore, then please keep the same project and update its fields. Or skip duplicates. If there is a duplicate, we don't need it. It will like have the same information that we have here already. Just skip them. So it was, I think, a pretty frequent request that we had. So I sincerely hope that if it was a pain point for you before, then it will become less problematic at the moment. Track a date of account creation, so it's clear which one is old and which one is new. So this is an example. There's a challenge because of security, not issues, but requirements, that if you have to generate on repetitive, you have repetitive pattern of generating new passwords for your account in integrations, you cannot, just update the password. You have to connect new account with a new password. Account can be the same. It will not affect your existing integration. You will just have another account, but with different credentials. So because of security challenges, you must create a new account. And before, as you see, you could have like 3 accounts, or like all of them from the same person, all of them same named. It was impossible to understand which one is the new one, which one is the old one, which one you can use. And now we just added this account creation date, so you can just delete the old account, identify it easily, and use the most recent one. Maybe if you don't have to update this information regularly, you wouldn't even mention it. So yay, surprise, now it's possible to see it. Maybe you will not miss it, but it's a good thing to have. And the Jira new filters. So we just added JQL filters to filter out different kind of tasks or issues or whatever. If you had such a challenge, if you have, for example, too much data and just want to think about it, now it's possible. And again, it was just a requirement, one of the use cases, recent use cases for a few of our biggest customers. So this is why we took the time to implement it. But I sincerely hope that maybe someone else will also benefit from that. What is coming? We will deliver a framework to import and sync users via connectors, to support people field in connectors. And connector is everything, not a CSV or marked in a file, like integration template, like Notion, ClickUp, etc. So it will make migration or even integration much more easier. Import into existing database with a connector, and an A10 connector. Here, fingers are crossed, because at the moment we don't have a developer who told, yes, I will grab this feature and work in it. But I was thinking with Michael, who is our CEO, and he told, a lot of people asked a certain community that much, like in our chats that much, that I think that it has to be done. So I will find someone who will deliver it. This is why add it to the presentation. And normally we don't add anything to the presentation unless we're sure, unless we had a kickstart, unless there is like the work started and will be started soon. But this is like, it's a trust. So fingers crossed that we will deliver it in September, October, somewhere there. Once there is developer free of their current scope, they will start working on that. So yep. By the way, we currently have make.com. We have Zapier. These are integrations that we build, and we also had we added to the template gallery Byteline and VS Socket, I think they're called, from what I remember. These are like also Zapier and make.com competitors with a different pricing logic, a bit with a different schema logic, but you can check them out. Maybe you will find something helpful there as well, and they will be also anytime. Other things. What else do we have? New widgets, new palettes for whiteboards, early option to scheduled rules, and activity log for a single entity with very old data. Let's go one by one, as always. So, okay, so if you go to the home page, yep, you'll be able to add a new widget, and here you have a few new ones. I'm sorry, am I bothering you? No, you're fine. Okay. Watch list. It's just the ability to see everything you are watching. Shared with me everything you were granted access, despite the fact that your default access is no access. Like I have no access to salaries, but my salaries are shared with me. I have no access to performance reviews, but my performance reviews are shared with me. They will be visible here. Another one, a light and dark color palette for the whiteboard. So there was a challenge that we were using single palette for both themes, dark and normal ones, and it caused a lot of issues working with text and elements in dark colors after switching to dark mode. So we had a lot of reports saying like, oh no, I have chosen this color and it's not visible in the dark theme. So it unfortunately, like fixing cases one by one was not a good idea. So we introduced new palettes that work good enough for every theme. So this problem has to be less problematic, less frequent, less painful, and the colors are also very nice, I think. I mean, look at them. Um, what else? We also introduced yearly option in scheduled rules. So you can create something on schedule, like, I don't know, every week, every month. So I'll select a trigger schedule or schedule. I think it depends on where do we live. I was used to saying scheduling, but our colleague is using shadowing, and he's a native speaker, but from UK, so had to switch. Sorry. And there you can say repeat every not only day, but now every year. So like once a year, create a Secret Santa competition, or once a year, plan a corporate event. So you can think of it, start it from, and it can also be helpful, like generate annual performance review every year for every employee, or yearly contract renewal. We have a customer every year, generate something for them. Compliance checks, budget planning, tax filing reminders. There are a lot of use cases. I hope you'll find one as well. And the last one, activity log for a single entity, now supports very old data. So you can check the history for any entity. And before, it was like limited to 100 of records, especially if it was bombarded by highlights linking or something. Now you can just like scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll till the moment your history allows, because you have history limits here, 90 days or infinite on the standard and pro plan, but you can upgrade anytime and check out the oldest history, because we don't delete anything. Okay, this is it about the other updates. We also delivered UI improvements. So we have a simplification team, which is looking for some low-hanging fruits in different areas. And now this month they were working on the board view. So they like improve the columns, modern look, the units, the buttons. Maybe few things were broken. Yes, maybe some were broken with the grouping, I mean, like with horizontal lines. Yes, but our two QAs were on vacation. So, taking into account this fact, I think that our precision and quality was still very high. Last of the bugs that were delivered with a recent release will be fixed tomorrow with this release. I'm very sorry for that. Maybe I told it to you in chat already if you complained, maybe in community. If not, yes. But still, I think that it has now refreshing look. And we also were going through recent, not very recent, community requests and chat requests, and identifying what can be improved. And our backlog is a very big one. It also includes calendar, hopefully, list improvements, and maybe next one will be table. So we're just like, sneaking around here and there and making the whole list of all the improvements we made. It took 3 presentation lists, not lists, pages. So, yep, instead we have a small one and a wonderful Philomena Kang. What is next? Oh, this one I love. Specify which entity view to open based on fields value. This one I think is amazing. So, our entity views, they have those layouts where you can show, maybe I can show it to you, by the way, even right now. Let me open. Yeah, so we have a feature, and feature may have different kind of layouts, let's say, based on who is opening it. I have a customer success one. So you can have different, for example, for customers as well. And based on some field values, we will open some layout automatically. Something like, imagine we have 2 types of tasks, or maybe bugs. Bugs reported by customers and bugs found by QAs. and they have a bit different set of fields. For example, bugs reported by customer also have fields like importance for customer, customer name, and something. And if we would say that if the customer is not empty, then open the customer bug layout, something like this. I think it's incredible. If you have teams assigned to tasks and the task will have different layouts based on the team assigned to them, it will also be very handy. If you are using it for customers cards, you can open different layouts based on the state this customer is at the moment, like whether they churned, whether they are paid, whether they are still like investigating the tool, etc. So different metrics you have to look at based on their state. So that will be possible. Yeah, board list calendar improvements, not the full rework, not no big features, just something small and nice we can deliver. Mobile, we are looking for beta testers. If you're interested, there is a link to the form in community, or you can just ping us in chat. I'll share with you the link to the form. You can fill it in, and once there is a build to test, you will be the first one to check this out. We even already improved some mobile layout, just for the mobile version, web version, and yep, the application is coming soon. Some wildcard from popular requests. Indeed, we probably will have some capacity, and we'll grab something. And whiteboard history, and then doing history. So we're hoping one of the developers will switch to files improvements area soon, but it was the same developer who was working on the whiteboard, and we had so many requests about asking history and undoing history. So when you can see like, the list of actions and click undo, undo, undo there, not just like with the shortcuts, that we had to pause development of files because it's a big new area. Some designing work was in the background, but not that much. And this developer is now working on these big areas in whiteboard because they're really big, very complicated, took more time than we expected. This is why we postponed the files kickstart time. But whiteboard, hopefully, will be delivered also maybe next week or something, because it's in testing. We have QAs to test it out, and these are good news. Education. We released 2 new big articles written by me, so I definitely recommend you to check them out. They have to be great and amazing. How do you work with customers? Very big, very detailed, with some real life examples. I recommend, probably if you're thinking about managing that part in Fibery, or if you're curious how do we work and why do we answer to you the way we answer. How we handle hiring. Now, like once in a while, we hire people, I don't know, once in 2 years or something. And we started doing it again. We're looking for the customer educator. And then we had to pause and think how better to handle this in Fibery, not just like, struggle, but Anton, our growth guy who's doing the hiring, because we don't have HR managers and don't plan to have. He refreshed the hiring space, added there a few buttons and automations here and there. In the article, you can check all the details. How do we manage it? Through real life examples, and why we are doing it the way we do. So if you needed inspiration, that's a good thing. And again, Sansir started his writing, so you're very welcome to subscribe and check out what's going on. And there is a time for Q&A. I know that we have some comments and some questions. So yes. Can you also allow an A10 to use Fibery MCP server? I don't know. I don't think that we thought of this opportunity, but it looks like a pretty cool idea. So if you could probably, I don't know, drop a message in an intercom or in a community and share some use cases you think you could benefit from, that will be absolutely amazing, because I cannot promise, but if it's not that complicated to deliver, then why not? Link for mobile testing, please. Just a second, maybe I will be able even to find it right now fast and drop here in the comments, because who am I to make you wait and request for it? more. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Just a second. I will check out. Do I have? Yes, I have the link to the form. Yay, let me drop it here. Okay. Yes, this is the form which you can fill in to become beta tester. There was a talk of doing PDF file previews before in whiteboard. Any timeline for this? So yes, but it's related to the files theme. So is the same person working on the whiteboards and on the files. So once he's done with the history, he will switch most likely to the files. And then once this part is done, then maybe it will be added to the whiteboard. So I don't want to promise anything except something that is in development already or was kickstarted at least. This is why on the whiteboard I can only promise history and history undo, and few bugs to fix. That's always I can promise. Okay, we have 3 questions. Okay. In rules, will branching logic if statements be available in the future? So here I may have an assumption. What do you mean? Something like conditional logic and filters in triggers, like if run the rule once a week. If the value of this field is A, then do this. If the value of the field is B, then do that. Right now, at the moment, we recommend having a formula on the database level which checks the condition and the result of this condition, and then using this formula result in the rules. Not a very good thing because you must have a lot of rules, but bad news here that this kind of conditional logic is very complicated. So in automations, we have 2 biggest requests, biggest in terms of popularity. These are validation rules and the conditional logic. And I think that it will make sense, to focus a few developers on the automations again and make them deliver 2 very big and very complicated features, because otherwise they would have been delivered by today already. I'm not even sure it will be done this year, because those developers now are focused, the ones that have good automations background, they're focused now on AI, on performance, and on integrations. And we're not ready to drop yet any of those areas for now. And yep, it's a lot of time, resources. So someday it will be in the future, but not in the nearest one, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm crying because of this as well, because I feel shame each time recommend using the workaround I described. And validation rules are very, very, very popular. But Gantt view was popular as well, and it took us a lot of time to implement it. So we'll see when we will be ready for the next big feature. Is there a way to connect Fibery AI via MCP, or is it planned? I'm using coding to build an app with Fibery API, but it often misbuilds. We have Fibery MCP connection, Fibery MCP remote, available in Cloud in GitHub Copilot. You can check it out in our user guide with a lot of details. If something is missing, something particular, you can ping us. I'll double check with developer. Note that MCP developer is on vacation until September 11th. So it will take a week to get the proper answer. But yep. Yes, would love the MCP server info. Oh, by the way, I can just drop the link to the guide right now to the chat, if this is something you meant. If not, I'm very sorry. It means that I'm too stupid to understand that. The question properly. So, yep. Is gallery view planned? I believe it's related and dependent on files, right? Absolutely correct. So it's possible to show images on boards, and it was like a beta, very primitive version of gallery view. But there was a problem that with the current files extension, it's not possible to choose like which of, if there are multiple images linked, which one to use. Images can also live in rich text. So having proper gallery view, we must deliver proper files first. And like this is why we just like, you know, delivered that board with images and decided not to proceed it further until we deliver files. And files were passed because of whiteboard. It's everyone recommends to keep your team as small as possible for as long as possible, because unfortunately making the team bigger doesn't mean that it will be more productive. But of course, sometimes when I think like, if we had like two or more Dimas or two or more like Sergeys or Andrews or Ihars or Vichas, so how wonderful life would be. But I think that even having new ones won't make anything speed up. Is it possible to create views as pinned views instead of only embed to an entity, and then have an option to switch between table and list layouts? I'm not sure. So let me give you an example. So now I'm opening a project, and the project has relation to the tasks. And this is what we call context views. It's not embedded. So I can have a list, I will pin it, then I will have a board by state, please, and board will be also pinned. I can rename those, and yeah, that will be it. So these are not embedded, these are context ones. Embedded is when you create a document. Where do I create a document? Oh my god. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, that will call test, and then we embed it like this. So this is embedded view. So you have context, you have embedding, and you can also have a dashboard. So in the dashboard, you can add existing view like this, and then change the way it looks like. If you mean here I have a table, and then I can like convert this table into the board, then to the timeline, and from the single view have like different versions of it. No, it's not possible, and it's unlikely to be delivered year two, because this feature was um, delivered in tool called target process. And target process, it's our like its previous product our CEO and most of the developers team was working on before. And there they also have not the flexible but still flexible domain, and there the ability to convert and switch between views was very, very popular. And it was a very complicated task from developers' perspective. They spent tons of time to deliver it, to find out that almost no one uses it. So unfortunately, we think that it will be like just a nice add-on, but very costly from implementation side. And we have so many things that bring the real value that it's unlikely that it will be done. I don't know, unless we have 5 million people company coming from target process and saying that's the very best important feature, and they're willing to pay all the money to the world to Fiber if we deliver it. But even that, I saw faces of our developers who were discussing this feature one time. It was not a good face, not the one that gives you the hope. So yeah, context use, dashboards, embedding to the documents. That's what we have. No converting. Um, do you have real plans for giving access to MCP to other tools except Claude and Cursor VS Code? I think it's all by request. If you have good ideas, you are very welcome to ping us and share that. We didn't have any requests about that yet. This is why it was not even discussed. So nice idea. I will drop it to folks to the guy once he's back from vacation. But the more details and use cases we have, the more persuasive we can become. Okay. Cool. The questions here are answered. Two more Paulinas. No, I barely deal with one, to be honest. I'm not ready for another Paulina neither in my life, no at work. Fiber's incredible. We just scheduled a consultation with you tomorrow. Oh, amazing. That's a great thing. Oh, we have one more question. Can you show an example of rich entity field views inside of an AI chat? No, because I don't understand the question. So in AI chat, you have two modes, ask and build. And ask mode can give you links to something like this information can be found on this view. The same goes for the build mode. It can give you examples. This one can be found here and a link. And ask mode can generate also HTML and PDF reports. So you can ask it, please create for me a nice smart report analyzing the leads we had last month. And it will create for you a proper HTML fancy schmancy one. It will give you a link. By this link, you'll have an access. But rich text entity field views inside of an AI chat, unfortunately, I'm not sure what is meant. So if you can provide more details, but yep. Our AI build still reports GPT 4.1 as GPT-5 not yet implemented. GPT-5 was added to as AI assistant and to the automations. AI builder is what we call smart agent. And with GPT-5, from what I remember, we faced the issue that the quality of the answer increased by like 20%, but the time increased like 5 times. So we were definitely not happy with this time frame that it started taking much more time. So we kept the old model and now are working on either speed improvements or improving the quality of the AI agent. So when we talk about small things like, I don't know, which AI model to use to summarize something, of course, you don't have to retrain the model a bit at all. If we talk about complicated things like a builder, then there are unfortunately much more challenges to face. And yeah, this is where we are at the moment. Sorry, out of scope. No worries. You're very welcome to ask any question bothering you about anything, not just product webinar. I mean, like it's like a public Q&A, so no worries about that. Is there any plan to support user DB access from the formulas? For example, I'd like to create a custom function that takes the value of a language field based on user preference. You can. I think it's not a problem. Or if I understood correctly. So, yep. Let's say that I think maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay. I stopped lagging. So we have the project manager, and this is so. Okay, I think I'm back again. Okay, so come on. Oh, okay. I think that maybe sharing the everything broke something. So, okay. So in fact, user is a database which you can reference. And when you create a people field, it's under the hood is a relation between database and user database. So in formula, you can say something like, if assignee dot language equal English, comma, then 2. And if English name, if user dot language dot name is equal Portuguese, then 3. And then apply that if the number is 2, color it with red, something like this, if I understood it correctly. You can also go with a lookup. Lookup will help to travel through relations. You can say lookup, please go to the user, from user DB, show me the single select which contains the language, or relation which contains the language, and you will have this on the database where you want to have a formula already, and you don't even have to reference user database DB. So access from, so it's very normal, as it's just a normal database with unexpected UI a little bit, and can be used for access management, but it doesn't differ a lot. Claude doesn't know Fibery that well. Damn it, they have to know it better, I think. A few times I referred to things that were not available, relevant in Fibery. The result is incorrect answers too often. Does it need to be better trained on the product, or do we need to live with it and work around it? It's hard to say something for the Claude, or if you mean Claude model in Fibery, then it's a problem we can work on. If you mean that you're using Claude model somewhere outside and that the global model doesn't know a lot about the Fibery, it's also the problem that we have, because Fibery is not that popular as other competitors like Notion, for example, and we have less discussions in a public community, in Reddit, somewhere else. And also it gives, from what I remember, more priority to the public discussions rather to the blog, to the user guide, etc. So we're thinking about improving some of our public materials to be more accessible by external models. So this is something what we have on a radar, but we don't have, there is no like to-do list. What do you have to do to make it more popular? And this is good, I think, because that means that no one can hack it. And at least with different types of AIs, we're free of the marketing bullshit and the SEO articles, something that global search became recently in the recent 2, 3, 5 years. So there is still a hope, and we're just like figuring out how to make ourselves more transparent for AI scrapers. And if I mean the Claude in the building mode, that it behaves not that good compared to GPT, to OpenAI, then you can ping, give you details, and it will investigate. Yep. Well, I'm so happy that you have so many questions. Last webinar, I had 2 comments, very dopamine ones, but 0 questions. So here I'm feeling alive. Thank you so much for that. A new feature I mentioned today, like before we just had MCP server, and now we have remote MCP server. So remoteness is a new thing that we have, and MCP server we had before. So sorry for the confusion. MCP for OK, details for the NA10. Thank you. I will save them with the context and will forward pass to the designers and developers. You meant Fibery AI. Then could you please share a few examples with us in chats then, so we could investigate that? Because of course we run tests ourselves, but if it's working for us, it doesn't mean that it works for you. It has to, but not in all the cases. So yep, having more details will be very helpful. Have you considered database for rules, either per space or global? This will be similar to Fibery users database, where we cannot create new user entities or modify certain fields, but we can reference entities and add various fields on top of this. No? Am I a little bit scared by your question? Yes. Will rules benefit from some additional fields, like last time run, but you can find it in activity, who triggered it last time, something like this description? I cannot think of many properties. And I also think it's a matter of technical implementation. Our decision to be database related and not having rules on the whole workspace was deliberate, because we also had to think of performance of UI, these kind of things. But I'm not sure that we thought of them of the database. And from the features I know we have in the backlog, none of them require that. So it's an interesting concept. I think this concept worth community post. I mean, we have a lot of champions and nerds in a very good way I'm still not sure whether this word now has a positive or negative context, but I use it for positive ones only in the community. So I think this can provoke some interesting discussions. It doesn't mean that we would implement it someday, but maybe we will see some um, problems of the current implementation and could think of how to um, overcome them. But no, we didn't. Oh, that was a very unexpected one. We're creating a tracking database of rules manually to track requests, the performance of rules, any related processes or bugs. Great if it existed. That's interesting. Track requests. Requests usually is just database where you can track them. Performance, good point. We, in terms of rules performance, by the way, no one is watching. We also have stats of rules usage in more details. So if you need it, you can ping us and we can give it to you, not on a regular basis, rather like a one-time service. I'm making a screenshot, I'm sharing it with you. But in the future product plans, we have a feature to share the analytics of the usage, at least of the rules and some other metrics with users. It's just not very high at the moment in a backlog, and it will be probably like on a pro or on the enterprise plan, but this is something we want to share someday. That's true. A database for rules repository, active or not, can be created by the user. I mean, it's about the rules management. So I can agree that having those rules just in the left menu is not a good thing. It's also confusing, especially when you have many of them disabled and you need and you have, I don't know, 20 rules per database, then it's really messy. So redesigning how the rules look like instead of having them like this in the left menu is somewhere in the priority list. So from UI perspective, maybe it will make sense to make it like database look like, but from technical perspective, to make them database, no, it's hard to wrap my mind around that. The help file says that external AI tools cannot be used, but it's that no longer the case with the MCP integration, correct? We use Claude externally. So external AI tools means that you say, okay, we don't want to use Fibery AI because you are using OpenAI, which is in USA, and we don't trust this country anymore. So we have our nice local AI provider, and we want this provider replace your AI everywhere in the system, like formulas generator, smart agent, AI in automations, in rich text, etc. So this part is not possible. You can only use in Fibery the providers that we have chosen at the moment. But you're very welcome to use the MCP and just push the data somewhere else and operate the way you want. So this is why, it's about the wording you use. Is it possible to connect my own AI? No. Is it possible to use another AI and Fibery data? Yes, because we have MCP. So I will think how to make it more clear after this nice discussion in here with the questions. I will go through it one by one and update some FAQs in our user guide, so it was easier for him to explain and give better answers to the more generic questions. So hope it's more clear now. Yeah, we by the way also track the request of having separate AI providers. It's just also not that easy and simple, and we're thinking like, let's finish with our AI scope first and then think of using other providers as well. Okay, I see someone is tapping. It means that one more question will be soon. Yeah, by the way, you'll be able to find the record of this webinar on the YouTube. It will be also sent to you with some transcript. So you will be very welcome to check this out. Oh, what a wonderful day to be alive. I mean, there's last time we had a webinar, on Friday. And maybe that was the case because who wants to watch webinars on Fridays? If you have a nice life work balance, February doesn't have not February. Friday doesn't have to be a working day. I mean, it has to be socializing with your teammates, communicating, maybe drinking coffee, tea, or something else, some beverages with your teammates to build the bond and not to watch the boring webinars. And having them on Wednesday is a good idea because, well, you're still working and watching the webinar, you know? So it's just a way to switch the context from your normal work. Okay, this is a good idea. I will add it to the guide. Thank you so much, guys, by the way, for joining, for all the questions. I will aggregate them, pass everything to designers and developers. So that was stunning. Thank you so much for coming and see you next month. Bye bye.